The exile the Galactic Council Chamber floated above a dying star, surrounded by energy shields and orbiting ships. Inside, alien leaders from 100 worlds sat in circles of glowing light. They spoke in sharp, clicking voices, long hisses, and digital tones. But today, all eyes were on one figure, the only human in the room. Ambassador Ryan Cole stood tall in the center, wearing Earth's navy blue uniform. His face was calm, but his eyes held fire. "The humans have become unstable," said a tall, insect-like creature from the Dralax system. "You spread too fast, question too much. You bring chaos." Others joined in. "You built weapons that even we don't understand. You refused to obey our technology limits. You dared to defend your colonies without council approval." Ryan listened silently. He knew the real reason behind this attack. It was fear. Humanity had grown. Fast, too fast. Their creativity, their boldness, their refusal to follow old rules had scared the council. "You have one last chance," said the council leader, a floating being of pure light. "Step back, slow your expansion, destroy your advanced fleet, or be exiled." Ryan looked around the room. So many powerful species, so much arrogance. They had forgotten what it meant to fight for survival. Earth had never forgotten. Earth had never been handed anything. Humanity had always earned it with sweat, blood, and brilliance. He smiled slightly and gave a short nod. "Understood," he said. "Then we choose exile." The chamber exploded with noise. Some laughed, some were shocked, some watched in silence. But Ryan didn't wait. He turned and walked out, never looking back. Back on Earth, the news spread fast. Earth exiled. From the Galactic Council, the skies above major cities turned black with returning ships. Alien embassies were closed. Trade routes were shut down. Alien students, workers, and travelers were ordered to leave the planet. Earth was now alone. People panicked. Some cried. Some were angry. But in hidden places, deep underground labs, mountain bases, and space stations, something else happened. A signal was sent. Project Phoenix. Activate. General Mira Hahn stood inside a command bunker in Antarctica, staring at a holographic star map. Red zones showed Council territory. Blue zones marked human colonies. But at the edges, where the stars went dark, were the black zones, hidden sectors, unknown to the Council. "Waiting. They gave us exile," Mira said softly. "Now we'll give them something better." Beside her, Dr. Kadim, Earth's top engineer, grinned. "We've been preparing for this," he said. "No more Council rules. No more limits." Across Earth, hundreds of scientists and soldiers received new orders. Factories hidden in asteroid. Belts fired up. Stealth ships were launched from moons cloaked in plasma. AI minds, long kept secret, were awakened. Humans began to vanish from jobs, cities, and stations. But they weren't missing. They were leaving. For the Ark World's secret planets where Earth had been building for years. 3 months later, the Council sent a drone to scan Earth. It was destroyed. They sent 5 more. All vanished. One scout ship managed to return with a broken recording. Massive object had risen from Earth's orbit, dark, angular, and unlike any known ship. It moved like it was alive. Then everything went black. Council leaders watched the footage and frowned. "What is that?" One whispered. The answer came. In static-filled sound, buried in the message. A human voice. "Calm, cold, you watched us grow. You tried to stop us. Now, watch what we become." In the deep void of space, near a dead sun, thousands of ships floated in silence. Human ships. Sleek, silent, powerful. At the center stood the EHS Vengeance, Earth's new flagship. Its engines, were dark. Its weapons were hidden, but its eyes were open. Ryan Cole stood on its bridge, staring into the stars. "They exiled us," he said. "Now we build something better, not just a nation, not just a force." He turned to Myra, who had joined him on the bridge. "We're building an empire." Asterisk the disappearance of Earth. 3 months had passed since Earth was exiled from the Galactic. Council dot, and then Earth simply? Vanished dot from across the galaxy. Satellites and scanners searched for signals, radio waves, heat signatures, light patterns, but Earth gave nothing back. It was as if the planet had gone completely silent. Space. Traders noticed it first. Passing ships reported strange distortions near Sol System. Navigational systems glitched. Probes were either lost or returned blind, their memory cores wiped clean. Some even swore the planet was no longer there, replaced by a black shadow. Like a hole in space. Panic spread in the outer colonies. Did Earth destroy itself? Was it attacked? Are they hiding something? The Galactic Council sent a fleet of drones, fast, small, AI-controlled. Only one came back. It had no video, no data, only a scratched message etched onto its metal frame. "We are watching." Far beyond the galaxy's core, in Sector 19 Beta, a system marked as dead space, hundreds of massive ships hung in perfect formation. This was the Ark Fleet, a collection of humanity's best scientists, strategists, engineers, and soldiers. Each ship was a city. Each city was a weapon. Inside the largest vessel, HFY Vengeance, General Mira stood with her command team. They watched. Earth through a live feed visible only to them. A cloak of quantum mist covered the planet now, bending light and energy. Even the Council's best scanners couldn't detect it. "Operation Veil is working perfectly," said Dr. Kadim. "We've made Earth disappear." Mira gave a small nod. "Good. Let them wonder." Meanwhile, Ryan Cole stood before a group of young recruits in a massive training dome aboard the EHS Ironclad. "You are not just soldiers," he said. "You are builders of a new future." The Council saw us as dangerous. Now we become something more. He walked among the rows. When the stars turned against us, we didn't kneel. We evolved. Behind him, large screens showed alien planets, council-controlled worlds with oppressed species, silenced voices, broken colonies. "Out there," Ryan said, pointing, "are billions who suffer under the Council's rule. We're not just preparing for war. We're preparing to free them." The room echoed with one united chant. Earth rises. On a small council world named Atrolin 5, an alien engineer named Velrak worked in a government communications station. For weeks, he had tried to access Earth's signals. All channels were dead until one night at 3:03 local time. His screen blinked. A message appeared, only for a second, then vanished. He rewound the feed, frame by frame. It was a human symbol, Earth's old flag, but altered. The Earth was surrounded by 12 stars, burning bright red. Beneath it, one sentence: "You turned your backs. Now we turn the tide." Velrak reported it to his superior, but the officer laughed. "Probably human junk code. Don't waste time." But Velrak wasn't convinced. Back at the Council headquarters, fear began to grow. Earth wasn't just quiet. It was doing something. They received scattered reports. A pirate base raided by unknown stealth ships with no insignia. A rebel colony rescued from Council control with no demands. A cargo convoy found floating in space, its attackers left hanging in 0G with marks of plasma blade strikes. A human weapon once banned, but no proof. No survivors. Just one whispered phrase from a dying captain, picked up by emergency comms before his ship went dark. They're back, but different. In a quiet moment aboard the EHS Vengeance, Mira and Ryan stared at a holographic map of the galaxy. Mira spoke. First, they still think we're weak. Ryan nodded. Double quotes good. Let them believe that a little longer. She looked at him. And when do we strike? Ryan gave a small smile. Not yet. First, we recruit. Then we reclaim. He turned off the display and whispered to himself. Revenge is not enough. We will redefine the galaxy. First strike in the cold darkness of space. A council patrol station orbited quietly around planet Varela 9. Inside, a team of alien officers worked through their routine scanning deep space, checking trade lanes, and watching for signs of rebellion. Everything was normal. Until it wasn't. At 020 hours. Their outer sensor grid blinked. A faint signal. No shape. No heat. Just a shadow. The officers laughed nervously. Just a glitch, one said. But within seconds, the station's lights dimmed. The air became heavy. And then, without warning, the station exploded. No weapons were fired. No alarms were triggered. It was gone. In an instant, the council received the emergency ping, but by the time they checked the coordinates, all that remained was debris. There were no escape pods, no survivors. And in the center of the wreckage floated a single metal shard. Etched on it was a symbol, the Earth, surrounded by fire. Council command was shaken. The loss of one station could be a pirate attack, but this felt deliberate. Still, they said, nothing to the public. But the attacks didn't stop. Within 1 month, 3 more council stations were hit. No sound. No warnings, no ships seen. Just precise, brutal destruction. All with the same message left behind. We have not forgotten. Council. Leaders gathered in secret. Tensions rose. These are humans, one alien growled. But how? Earth is silent. Their ships haven't been seen in years. They've changed, whispered another. This isn't how they fought before. They don't fight anymore. They disappear their enemies. Meanwhile, in the black zones of space, Earth's hidden empire was rising. Inside the war room of the EHS Revenant, Commander Adrien Locke analyzed the next target. He was a master of stealth warfare trained in zero-gravity combat, shadow insertions, and electromagnetic sabotage. One of Earth's best. He looked at the team of elite operatives standing before him, each one enhanced, trained in silence. Chosen for one reason. They were ghosts in space. He pointed to the map. Our target is an arms facility on Zexor 3, Council prototype weapons, dangerous tech. He paused. They don't know we exist. Let's keep it that way. That night, the Council arms facility vanished from its mountain crater without a sound. Satellite footage caught a flicker, a shimmer in the clouds, then nothing. Locals reported strange lights, followed by complete silence. When Council inspectors arrived, they found the site glassed. Not bombed, not burned, melted, no bodies. No weapons, only the same phrase left, this time carved into the side of a nearby cliff in plasma heat. You cast us out. Now we walk among shadows. Inside Council HQ, panic grew. What are these attacks? Why can't we detect their ships? Why does it feel like they're always watching? Even senior generals began to fear. The humans weren't just angry. They were everywhere and nowhere. One alien admiral said what everyone feared. This is not revenge. This is evolution. Back aboard the EHS Vengeance, General Mira watched the reports come in. Every mission successful. 0 losses. No detection. Beautiful, she whispered. Ryan Cole entered the command ridge. He studied the display. Council networks flickering. Civilian unrest rising. Worlds questioning the Council's power. It's working, he said. They built an empire through control. We'll tear it down through fear. Myra nodded. The more they try to hold on, the more their grip slips. In a quiet village on a council-controlled world, a child looked up at the night sky and saw something strange, 3 stars moving together in perfect silence. They weren't stars at all. They were ships, human ships, but they made no sound. No light. No message. They simply passed by, like predators in the dark, searching for their next target. The child whispered to her father, "Are they monsters?" He shook his head slowly. "No, they're the ones who were betrayed." And across the galaxy, a whisper began to spread among those who still remembered Earth. They're coming back, and they're not the same. Rise of the Human Empire. The galaxy had changed. Council broadcasts grew quiet. Merchant fleets were rerouting. Outer colonies whispered of something terrifying, something hidden in the shadows, removing council outposts one by one. But then came the message. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't silent. It was a public transmission sent across all frequencies, translated into every known language, reaching every screen, every device. The screen blinked to life. A figure appeared human, standing tall in a black and silver uniform. Behind him fluttered a new flag, Earth's blue sphere, now wrapped in a golden spiral of stars. "This is Commander Ryan Cole," he said calmly, "speaking for the United Human Empire." The galaxy froze. Aliens stopped mid-task. News stations went silent. Council officials stared in disbelief. "You cast us out. You feared our strength. You feared our curiosity. You feared our progress." He stepped closer. "You are right to be afraid." But then he smiled. "We do not seek revenge. We seek balance, order, freedom for all species." The council ruled with fear and silence. We offer choice. Across 1,000 worlds, people leaned in. If you are ruled by fear, we will stand with you. If you seek freedom, we will protect you. If you harm the innocent, we will find you. The screen faded, then lit up again with coordinates. A new central planet, a capital, a message. "This is Nova Terra, the new heart of the human empire. You are welcome. If you dare." Council command erupted in chaos. What is Nova Terra? How? Did they establish an entire star system without us knowing? Why are border colonies switching sides? One admiral shouted, "They're not just hiding anymore, they're recruiting." Meanwhile, on a small mining world, the insectoid species called the Thrix had been under council control for decades. Their queen watched the broadcast with careful eyes. The council taxed them, stole their metals, and silenced rebellion. Now, for the first time, she saw a different future. Her advisor buzzed nervously. "We can't trust humans. Can we?" She replied slowly, "When the council came, they chained us. When the humans came, they asked for nothing. And still they destroyed 3 slave stations near our moons without being asked." She looked to the stars. Perhaps it is not trust. But hope. Within weeks, dozens of smaller species sent envoys to Nova Terra. Some were desperate. Some were curious. Some were afraid. But all had one thing in common. They no longer believed in the council. Nova Terra was unlike anything seen before. Massive city structures floated between orbiting rings. AI drones worked beside human engineers. Soldiers trained not just in war but in diplomacy, science, and leadership. Aliens walked beside humans, not as servants, but as equals. General Mira walked through the central plaza, where an alien artist was carving the first statue of Earth's return. But the face carved into the statue wasn't of Ryan Cole. It was of a Thrix freedom fighter, holding a banner with both insectoid and human flags. In a secret council meeting, tension exploded. "They're turning the galaxy against us. They've created an empire built on choice." A council elder whispered bitterly, "We made a mistake. We forced Earth out, and they came back as something more powerful than we ever imagined. Meanwhile, in the deep sectors of space, the human empire's new fleet stretched like a wall of steel. Thousands of ships, each one powered by Tech Earth, was once forbidden to study. Now evolved. Now mastered Dot, but Earth didn't attack. Not yet. Instead, they sent offers, treaties, blueprints, defense packs. And across council-controlled systems, citizens began to rise. Not with guns, but with questions. Why do we still obey the council? What has the council done for us that the humans won't? What if the future wears a human face? In the throne room of Nova Terra, Ryan stood before the growing crowd of diplomats and species leaders. He raised his hand. We were once exiled. Now we offer unity. Not through dominance, but through determination, innovation, and justice. He looked toward the stars. We are not conquerors. We are builders. We are survivors. And now, we lead. And somewhere, in the shadows of N, old council world, a child looked up at the sky, saw 2 stars blinking, and whispered, I hope the humans find us next. War for the stars. The Galactic Council had no choice left. Their borders were breaking. Their colonies were revolting. And across the stars, one name echoed louder every day. The human empire. Enough was enough. In a grand broadcast, the council declared, War. Humanity is a virus, said the Council Prime, and now we shall cure the galaxy. They mobilized the largest fleet in their history, 10,000 warships, dreadnoughts, hunter cruisers, and stealth frigates. They called it the Purification Armada, their target, Nova Terra. But when the mighty fleet reached the Nova sector, they found nothing. Just silence. No planet, no starbase, no resistance. Then came a voice, calm, familiar, and full of quiet power. You brought war to our gates. We brought your fear home. The voice cut out. Suddenly, half the council fleet systems shut down. Lights died. Controls froze. Weapons refused to fire. Then the sky lit up. From the darkness emerged stealth-class human vessels, moving like ghosts. Ships that didn't show on sensors. Ships that bent gravity, twisted physics, and fired weapons no one had ever seen. The council's left flank vanished in seconds. Admirals screamed into comms. Where are they? What is happening? We can't even see them. On board. The Ishez Shadowburn. Commander Adrien Locke directed the attack like a conductor with a symphony. No direct assault, he said. We don't overpower. We outthink. He watched as council ships turned on each other, fooled by false signals, illusion fields, and neural decoys. Their sensors showed dozens of targets, but only a few were real. In one corner of the battlefield, a human AI used a quantum mimic virus to hijack a council warship. It turned, fired on its own eyes. Ben self-destructed, taking 4 cruisers with it. Back at Council High Command, chaos erupted. How are they winning? They don't outnumber us. No, they outsmart us. An elder whispered, horrified. This isn't just war. This is human creativity weaponized. On Nova Terra, General Mira watched the battle through a 3D projection. They'll expect brute force, she said. Ryan Cole nodded beside her. Then give them the opposite. She gave the order. Phase 2. Collapse the center. A dozen Earth ships vanished into subspace, reappearing behind the Council Core fleet. A weapon ignited a silent burst of graviton destabilization. It didn't destroy ships. It collapsed their engines, leaving them drifting, dead, powerless. The human empire didn't want to destroy the Council. They wanted to expose them. As battles raged, something even more unexpected happened. Council species began to surrender to humans, not because they were afraid, but because they wanted to. Aliens who had long suffered under Council control hailed human ships. On planet Dravik, an entire planetary, Defense Force laid down their arms and opened their cities to the human empire. One of them said, "Live on Galactic Stream. We were told to fear humans. But the Council never protected us. Humans fight. But they also listen." The Council fleet finally retreated. Out of 10,000 ships, only 3,000 escaped. The rest were destroyed. Disabled. Or worse, they joined Earth. In the days that followed, the galaxy changed. 12 species officially defected to the human empire. Hundreds of outer colonies raised the flag of Earth beside their own. The Council no longer looked powerful. They looked old. Outdated. Afraid. In a quiet chamber aboard the EHS Vengeance. Ryan and Myra stood before a screen showing new Alliance applications. "Did you ever imagine it would happen like this?" Myra asked. Ryan thought for a moment. "Not like this," he said. "But I always knew one thing." She raised an eyebrow. He smiled. "You don't win the galaxy with numbers. You win it with ideas." Somewhere in the ruins of a council world, a child wrote the word Earth in the dust with a stick. His older brother asked, "Why do you like them?" The boy didn't answer. He just looked up at the stars and smiled. *A. New galactic order. The war was over. The Council's once mighty fleets were shattered. Their outer colonies had either fallen or joined the human empire. Council Prime World, the political heart of the galaxy, now floated under human control. No battleship hovered above it. Just a single ship, the EHS Vengeance. It didn't need escorts. Its presence alone was enough. Inside the council chamber, now cracked, half-dark and abandoned, Ryan Cole stood before the remaining council elders. They were tired, defeated, afraid. One of them, a pale creature made of mist, finally spoke. "You win? So? Will you destroy us? Will you take revenge?" Ryan looked at him, then around the room. "You still think this was about revenge?" He stepped forward. "We didn't fight to rule you. We fought to make you irrelevant." Across the galaxy, celebrations erupted in strange, quiet ways. On mining worlds, shackles were broken. On jungle moons, enslaved species raised the flag of Earth. On council war planets, soldiers threw down their weapons and helped rebuild the homes they once burned. No. Orders were given. People simply followed the example humans had set. They had proven their power, but they used it carefully. At Novaterra, in the shining hall of unity, delegates from over 60 species gathered, not to kneel, but to build. The first Galactic Accord was designed by humans, but shaped by all. No. Race would rule another. No technology would be hoarded. No species would be silenced. Instead of one council, there would be many voices. And above them all, not a human throne, but a rotating chair. Leadership would shift, planet to planet, species to species. Balance, not control, Ryan had said. Diversity, not dominance. General Mira stood on a high balcony, watching alien children run beside human kids. No fear, no mistrust. Just curiosity. A reporter approached her. "General, what is the human empire now? A government? A military power? A religion?" She smiled softly. "A guide." She said, "We don't rule stars. We light the way to them." But not everything was peaceful. In a deep prison world, council warlords gathered in shadows, angry, bitter, waiting, and one said, "The humans will fall. They always do." But even they felt something new in the air, an unshakable truth. Humans had changed the rules, and no one would ever forget it. In a quiet corner of Novaterra, Ryan walked through a garden built with plants from hundreds of worlds. He passed an alien child planting a Terran flower beside a crystal-leafed bush from Dralax. The child looked up. "Is it true?" she asked, "that humans were once exiled?" Ryan knelt beside her. "Yes," he said. "We were told we didn't belong, so we built a place where everyone belongs." She smiled and went back to planting. Ryan stood, watching the stars rise across the galaxy. In every school, every archive, every future fleet academy, one phrase was carved deep into memory. Exiled from the Council, Earth chose something greater. They rose not to rule, but to redefine the galaxy.